Hello everybody, so I want to walk through how to do a door and also how to create a window. So this is going to be a fairly quick, I'm hoping, tutorial for you guys. So I'm just going to get right into it. The first thing I'm going to do is draft a door, and then I'm going to move on to the window. So the first thing I want to do is just make sure that I'm in my top view, because I'm going to create the frame for my door from a top view, and then I'm going to rotate it and move it to where I need it to be. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm in my top view to get going. Okay, once I'm in my top view, I'm going to start by creating the outline of my door. So as you guys can remember, I think we did our doors at 3 feet across and then 7 feet high. So I'm going to create a rectangle, which I'm going to get from my home tab, go over to draw and select rectangle. And then I'm just going to click to anchor it first. And then I'm going to go down to my ribbon down here at the bottom and select dimensions. Once I select dimensions, it's going to ask me to verify what that length is, which in that actuality they're asking for what the width is across. So I'm going to do 3 feet, press enter, and then it's going to ask me for the width, with which they're asking for the height. So I'm going to do 7 feet and press enter. And then I'm just going to click one more time in my model space to anchor that rectangle down. Right. Once I have that here, you guys can kind of play around with what design you want on your door. I'm just going to do a really simple design here, just really quick. So I'm going to start with I'm actually going to offset this 2 inches. And again, I'm just creating some type of pattern on my door. You guys can do this any way you want. So I'm just going to get my offset tool. I'm going to offset it 2 inches, press enter. Click to the inside here, and I'm just going to kind of play around with this to get this to look kind of how I want it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to offset this line by, let's do 4 inches. Okay. And then I'm going to offset again by 1 foot. Again, I'm just making a really simple design on my door. This can be anything that you guys want it to be. Okay, and I'm going to offset one more time, 1 feet. Okay. And once I have that, I'm just going to trim away the lines I don't need. Okay. So that design looks pretty good to me. I am going to go ahead and move this down a little bit because I don't like how high it is on the door. So I'm just going to select that inside before I do anything else. Get my move tool. And again, I'm just going to move it slightly down. Okay, perfect. That looks good to me. So I'm just going to do that. The next thing I want to do is create some type of depth from this. So if I go to my southwest view, you guys can see that it's just a flat door right now. So I want to add some type of depth to this. So I'm just going to get my press pull tool. I'm going to select that. I'm going to go and again hover so that I see all of the areas highlighted. Once I have it highlighted, like you guys see here, I'm just going to click once and start to pull that up, and I'm actually going to take it up 2 inches for the depth of my door. So I'm just going to type in 2 inches and press enter. And so that has created, again, depth to the door. So now I'm just going to escape out of that tool. I'm going to go up to my home tab, over to my view tab, and go to a conceptual view so I can see how this looks. Okay. Perfect. So it's coming along. So now I actually want to make sure that I have and create those panels in the inside of my door. So again, I'm just going to go and get my rectangle tool, home tab, draw section, rectangle tool. And again, you just want to make sure that you have down here under your object snap settings, you just want to make sure that you have the ones that you see here highlighted. Okay. Alright, once I have that, again, home tab, I want to get my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to go from the midpoint of the inner part of that door, that first panel. I'm going to click once to start that rectangle. Actually, let me escape out. Let me make sure that I'm in my top. So home, go over to coordinates, click down on where it says unnamed, and I just want to make sure that I'm drawing in my top layer. Okay, so again, I'm just going to go back to rectangle, grab the midpoint of that, and you guys will want to, once you click to get that anchored on the midpoint of the inside of that door, you just want to hold down shift, hold down the middle part of your mouse, and spin yourself around so that you can see the other side of the inside of that door. So once I get the other side in there, I'm just going to take it from midpoint to midpoint and click. And so now you guys can see that I have another polyline in the inside of that door. And so now I just want to get my press pull tool again. Again, I'm in my home tab, press pull. And I want to hover until I see that full polyline highlighted. So right there, you guys see it's highlighted. I'm just going to click once. And then I'm just going to bring it down just slightly because it'll come all the way up there, and just click. And it doesn't really matter how much you bring that out. You just want to click once. If it comes all the way up here for you, you just want to click it so that you have a little bit of depth, a little bit of panel in that door. So it doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as you get it in there. Okay, and now I'm going to go again. I want to make sure that I'm in my home tab, make sure that my coordinates, I'm going to make sure that this unnamed reads top again, and I'm going to repeat that step I just did. So I'm going to go get my rectangle tool, hit it on that midpoint, use my shift, hold down the middle part of my mouse to spin myself around. And then I want to just take it to the midpoint of that other side. Okay. Once you have that drawn, you just want to go and get your press pull tool. You want to hover over that poly rectangle line you just created. Once you have it selected, you're just going to click once. You're going to see it start to expand up, and you just want to take it back into that door some. So you don't want it to be all the way out. You want to have a little bit of space between the outer portion of that door and that panel. So again, I'm just going to click to set that down, and I'm just going to repeat that step again. So I'm going to go get my, make sure again I'm in my home tab. I want to go to my coordinate section, make sure that this reads unnamed reads top. Go get my rectangle tool, take it to the midpoint. Oh, let's make sure that's at top there. Okay, perfect, top. Okay, rectangle. And sometimes if it starts to do this and you know that you're in, you've clicked top a couple times, just go ahead and escape out. Go to your top view and then go back to that view that you were in. So I was in my Southwest isometric. I'm going to come back to this portion, and then I want to make sure that my coordinates read top again, and go back into what I was doing, because sometimes if you do that so many times, AutoCAD tends to get confused sometimes. So you just need to go to another view and then come back to the view that you were working in, and it should be fine for you. So I click that midpoint. I'm going to hold down shift, hold down the middle part of my mouse to spin myself around, and then I'm going to click while still in that tool on the midpoint of the other portion. And again, once you guys have that polyline rectangle drawn, you just want to go up, get your press pull, select it. You want to hover until you see it highlight that rectangular polyline you created. You want to click on it, and then you want to bring it back down so that you have space in between the outside of that door and where that panel needs to be. So I'm just going to click there. And like I said before, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you get some type of space where you can see that distinction, you're good. Okay, so once I have that, I'm going to go back to my top view, see what that looks like. Okay, so it's coming along. So the next thing I want to do is create a doorknob, and you guys are just going to go to your home tab under modeling, and you just want to get your spear tool. So I'm just going to get my spear, select that, come in, and I just want to just click where you guys see it highlighting the out portion of that door. So I just want to click because that just lets me know that it's going to draw it on that surface, which is what you want. So I'm just going to click, and then once I click on it, I'm going to come down to my bottom ribbon here and select diameter, and I'm just going to do a diameter of 2 inches and press enter. Okay. Once I have that, I'm just going to select it, go to a front view, and select that doorknob I just created and just move it up so that it's right at the edge of that door. And sometimes it tries to snap, but so you may have to actually turn off your snap here for a second and then move it up just slightly and then turn that back on. Okay. Alright, so now you guys see that this is actually floating in the air. So now we just, since we now have it done and completed, we now need to rotate it and move it into place. So I'm going to first go to my, we can do it from a Southwest isometric perspective. So I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to go up to my home tab, go to my modify section, and select 3D rotate. Once I have 3D rotate, again, I just want to hover over the axis that I want to rotate this on. So I want to rotate it on my red axis because I need to flip it up. Okay. So once I get that, I just want to let AutoCAD snap to those green dotted lines, excuse me. So once it snaps, you know that you're perfectly 90 degrees upward. So once you have that, you can just release and press escape. Once I have it here, I just want to go ahead and go back to my front view, and I want to go to my 2D wireframe. Once I'm in 2D wireframe, I'm just going to select this door and bring it down so that it's on my ground level on where I need to bring it to. Okay, so I'm just going to select that, select that, right click, and go to move. And I'm just going to select this bottom right hand corner here and just move that down to my ground plane. Okay, so that's kind of where I want mine to be at. So that's good. And then I'm going to go back to my top view. So I'm going to go from front, go back up to top. And you guys can see my door right here. But I actually need to get it at this angle here. So this may take a little bit of maneuvering, but that's fine. That's just a portion of 3D modeling. So I'm just going to select that door again. And this time I want to get my rotate, my plane rotate, not the 3D rotate, but the one next to it. And I'm just going to select it at this left hand corner here and rotate that around and kind of eye it. First I kind of want to eye it to see how I can kind of get that at the angle I need it. So that looks pretty good to me. So I'm just going to click here. And then once I move that door to the place it needs to be at, then I can go back in and rotate as need be. So I kind of got it at the angle it needs to be. So I'm going to select that door again. Okay. And I'm going to see what the best view is to move this door. So I'm going to see if it's better if I do it from my Southwest isometric view. I'm just going to select that door. And sometimes when you rotate, you guys see how I rotated this, and that outline that we started from did not come with that rotation. That's fine, because I can just delete this. As long as I got the 3D portion, I'm good to go. So I have the 3D portion. So once I have that, I'm now going to move this door into place. So it's selected. So now I'm just going to select my move tool. I'm going to select that left hand corner here, and I'm going to take it to the inside of this door here and click. And then I'm just going to delete what was left over from that outline that I created. Okay. Once I have that, I'm going to go back to my top view just to see where that has landed at as far as rotation. Oh, so that was actually pretty good. It's a little off here, so I'm going to go ahead and rotate it here. So I'm just going to select those elements, and you want to make sure you don't select your wall. So I want to select that, and then I want to make sure I select my panels here in the inside. So I'm just going to go here and just make sure that I selected that. And so you may just have to zoom in to make sure that you're getting everything and you're not selecting that wall too. Okay, so once I have it selected, I'm going to go and get my rotate, and I'm going to select sorry, looks like it didn't want to select it for me, so let me go back in, just make sure I have everything. There we go. Okay, and rotate. All right. And just click, and I'm going to try to get this as lined up as I can. So that looks pretty good to me. So I'm just going to click, and then that looks really good. So I'm just going to leave it as is now. And then if I go to my camera view, so again, to get to your camera view, you can just go to home and then go over to your view section, and you just want to click down and select the name of your camera. So mine is camera 1. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And then you guys see from this view that my door is in there. And then you guys can just go in and add the materials that you need. So that's a really basic, simple door that you guys can create. And then we're going to move on to the window.